A lot of frustrated passengers today in Air Canada transports about 130,000 passengers every day, and right now it is peak time for travel in the summer, and look at how many cancellations are happening here. Air Canada canceled. I am headed to Toronto's International Airport. I am getting on the UP train headed to the airport because it has been 40 years since flight attendants have gone on strike in Canada, and I am going to give you a first-hand look at this strike that is affecting up to 130,000 passengers a day. And this is my first time on the express train to the airport in Toronto. So let's get on the train. Lots of folks standing around today, August 17th, because the flight attendants who work for the largest flagship carrier in Canada are on strike. You can see them picketing there, and their major issue with Air Canada right now is they're not getting a fair wage. And today they were forced to go back to work at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The job minister in the government forcing Air Canada and the Canada Union public employees to have arbitration, forcing them to come to the table together. But in terms of how that will affect them, the Canadian Industrial Relations Board would be making a final decision on what a fair agreement would look like, and these folks on strike here would not be able to vote on the outcome. And right now, starting wages for a junior flight attendant for Air Canada is less than minimum wage, and minimum wage for a federal employee is $17.75 an hour. A lot of frustrated passengers today in Air Canada transports about 130,000 passengers every day, and right now it is peak time for travel in the summer, and look at how many cancellations are happening here. Air Canada canceled. And Air Canada is one of the flagship carriers in Canada. They are also a part of the Star Alliance, which is an airline comprehensive transportation network. And Air Canada has direct routes to about 100 in 80 airports in Canada, the United States, and internationally. And I am headed upstairs where the protesters, flight attendants, are fighting for their right for a living wage. On top of the wage issue, a number of the flight attendants are also frustrated by the fact that they do unpaid work, so they do not get paid for the time they spend on the ground. And when they're on the ground, they are not getting paid. So that includes boarding passengers onto the planes. And nowhere have I heard of anybody who works in Canada not getting paid for the time that they're working. All flights grounded right now here at Pearson International Airport in Toronto. And Air Canada made billions of dollars in profit last year, but can't pay their workers a living wage. And in Toronto, in order to have a wage that would allow you to live comfortably, you would have to be making $70,000 a year, and $2,100 a month just doesn't cut it, guys. It doesn't cut it. So these folks who are on strike are getting support from people driving by. And from what I can observe, most of the flight attendants are women. And right now they have been told to go back to work at 2 o'clock, but they are defying that order from the government of Canada. And they are all stocked up here, guys. They've got water, pizza, snacks. They are holding strong. And apparently the Toronto Teachers Union is here supporting them as well. More people driving by supporting the flight attendants. Greedy airline, starving crew is what that sign says by that passerby there. So 130,000 passengers are affected by this strike every day. And even if these workers, flight attendants, were to come back to work today, the Air Canada says that it would take them a week to get their flights back on track at all their airports in Canada. And they are on their second day here, guys. Second day of this CUPE flight attendant strike at Pearson International Airport. And we will see how this bodes for everybody. The last time a union decided to ignore an order for back to work, the nurses union leader a few years back was arrested and put in jail for 45 days. There is another driver stopping by and offering water. And there has not been a strike like this in 40 years outside of Pearson International Airport here in the city, and more cars driving by, honking, cheering these workers on.